So let's talk about something that's happening right now, kind of under the radar. There's this quiet but really important battle going on in the tech world. It's a real fight for survival, and it's hitting the small independent creators. The ones who are the backbone of so much of the internet we use every single day. And this quote from a founder, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? It's not just another tough year. For a lot of these folks, it's a full-blown crisis. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what's going on. So here's the plan. We're going to start by looking at the struggle these creators are actually facing. Then we'll dive into what we're calling the perfect storm of pressures hitting them. We'll also get into a really tough moral crossroads they're at, their honest appeal for support, and finally, we'll tackle the big one. Why should we even care? Why do these indie creators matter so much? All right, first up, a very hard year. And look, we're not talking about the tech giants here. Not at all. Our focus is on the small guys, the independent studios and creators who are really the lifeblood of innovation, but often get completely overlooked. And a really important word you need to know here is bootstrapped. What does that actually mean? Well, think of it this way. There's no safety net, no big checks from outside investors. Every single dollar they make comes from their own revenue, their own hard work. Now, this makes them super agile and incredibly focused on their clients, but it also makes them extremely vulnerable when the market gets shaky. And wow, just look at the difference here. It's like night and day. Not that long ago, things were pretty optimistic, right? Projects were flowing in, companies were actually investing in training their people. But now, it is a completely different world. Finding new work is an uphill battle, those training budgets have vanished, and the whole vibe feels a lot like the deep uncertainty we all felt back in 2020. So that brings us to the real core of the problem here. This isn't just about one thing going wrong. It's a perfect storm, a whole bunch of crushing pressures all hitting at the exact same time. On one hand, you've got these massive economic forces at play. You've got global economies just limping along, political instability throwing curveballs, and a cost of living crisis that's hitting absolutely everyone's wallets. And then, on the other hand, you have this new growing attitude in the tech industry, this kind of naive belief that, AI can just do it. And that's really the key, right? Any single one of these things would be a huge headache. But all of them, all at once, that's what creates a genuine crisis, a situation where just surviving becomes the daily struggle for these small shops. Okay, so this is where things get complicated, because this financial squeeze is forcing a really difficult moral crossroads. There's a new opportunity on the table, but taking it means compromising on their core principles. So here's the crazy part. Just as all the usual work is drying up, this new thing appears, a flood of requests for marketing AI products. On the surface, it looks like a lifeline for a struggling business. But there's a huge catch. You have to remember, these folks built their entire reputation on trust, quality, and a human-first approach. So for them, taking money to promote a technology they feel is being irresponsibly hyped, it feels like a betrayal. It's a short-term fix that they believe could do serious long-term damage to the trust they've spent years building. And this goes deeper than just business strategy. It's personal. It's a fundamental struggle between paying the bills and staying true to your values. It's about being able to look at your work and be proud of the impact it's actually having on the world. So, with this perfect storm raging and this moral dilemma in front of them, what's the path forward? Well, it's not a complaint, it's an honest appeal to the community, an appeal for partnership, not pity, to help them navigate these incredibly tough times. So, you might be asking, okay, what can I actually do? And the answer is actually pretty straightforward. First, if you're looking to learn, invest in human-led courses and trading, not just automated platforms. Second, when you see great work from these small studios, share it, amplify it. Your signal boost matters more than you know. And third, the big one, hire them. When you have a project, choose to work with a small ethical partner. Your support can make all the difference. And just to be super clear, this isn't some kind of woe is me story. It's about being transparent about a real struggle, trying to find solutions, and sending a message of solidarity to everyone else out there who's feeling the same squeeze. It's about making sure they know they are not in this fight alone. Okay, so this brings us to the big question, the really important one. Why does any of this even matter? In a tech world full of giants, what's the real value of these small independent shops? What do we actually stand to lose if they disappear? Well, the value they bring to the table is just huge. Let's break it down. When you hire an indie creator, you get a true partner. Someone who's actually invested in your success, not just another vendor punching a clock. They're hyper efficient. There's no corporate bloat, so your budget goes directly into the work itself, and it goes a lot further. And maybe most importantly, their work is ethical. They're not building tricky, deceptive patterns to exploit users. They have a relentless focus on real quality, on making things accessible to everyone, and on speed, all delivered with a fair and equitable price. Look, in an industry that's absolutely swimming with hype and, well, let's call them charlatans, these small studios offer something essential. They offer genuine alternative. They're focused on partnership and on delivering real, tangible, measurable results. They are the real deal in a world that can often feel full of pretenders. So I want to leave you with this question. As our entire industry sprints towards automation, as we chase the next big algorithm, what is the value of human-centered craft? What's the value of real partnership, of ethical creation? The future of the indie web, and maybe a big piece of the internet's soul, really depends on how we answer that.